Good afternoon and welcome to our regular series of Posturite lunchtime webinars. My name's Leon Jeffrey. I'm an account manager for Posturite based in the Northwest, and I'll be taking the anchor role for today's talk. I'm pleased to welcome our presenter today, who is Astley Shields of the Fellows Workplace Group. Astley is a specialist in office air treatment, and he'll be talking to us about some solutions to combat poor air quality. Air pollution and poor air quality has become a hot topic of late, so it will be interesting to find out what solutions are available. And as ever, if you have any questions that you'd like to put forward during the webinar, please do. There's a little dialog box to the right of your screen. If you type them in, and I'll put as many as possible forward to Astley at the end of the presentation. And any questions we don't manage to get through, we'll answer following today's webinar and send them through with a link to the presentation. So that just leaves me to hand over to Astley now with his presentation entitled How to Improve Air Quality in Your Workplace.
Thanks, Leon. Excuse me. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining this webinar to learn more about the benefits of cleaning the air with the AeraMax Professional Air Purifier. In my Cleaner Air in the Workspace webinar back in March, we looked at the problems associated with poor indoor air quality. The purpose of this webinar is to go a stage further and to look at how we can take a proactive approach to solving some of those issues. The main topics I'll be covering today include the state of our indoor air quality, an introduction to AeraMax Professional Air Purifiers, the nasty stuff floating in the air around us, how the AeraMax Professional cleans the air in public and shared spaces, and finally there's a handy summary of the key points for you to take away. Let's start with an interesting fact. Whilst we drink around 2 litres of water each day, we actually breathe almost 11,000 litres of air every day. Despite the fact that tap water is perfectly safe to drink, companies spend millions of pounds a year on bottled water and next to nothing on cleaning the air that we breathe. Yet it's full of hazards that are affecting our health and overall well-being. A staggering 90% of people living in European cities are breathing in polluted air. But did you know that indoor air quality actually contains 5 times more contaminants than outdoor air? And when you consider that we spend on average approximately 90% of our time indoors every day, you can imagine the harm that it's doing. AeraMax Professional commercial grade air purifiers are engineered to clean the air where it's needed most. With built-in hospital type filtration systems featuring true HEPA filters, they capture up to 99.9% of allergens, germs, and other harmful airborne contaminants, which means they're the most effective solution for cleaning the air in public and shared spaces. In addition, AeraMax Professional uses patented EnviroSmart self-regulating technology, plus the all-new PureView digital monitoring system. EnviroSmart technology detects air quality and room occupancy and automatically manages performance when the air needs cleaning. When the air is clean, it turns itself down so that it only runs when needed. This reduces the energy, extends filter life, and allows for hassle-free operation. All you do is set it, and then you can forget it. EnviroSmart continually monitors air in the room, activating the filtration system when any nasty stuff is identified, and the PureView digital display shows you how clean the air is. You'll be able to see which harmful pollutants are being removed, discover the percentage of particles being captured, and even switch screens to find out the PM 2.5 particle count, which is industry standard for air quality management. PM 2.5 is a measure of fine inhalable particles that are 2.5 microns and smaller. This size is of concern for people's health when levels in the air are elevated. And to complete the advanced technology featured in PureView, there's a readout for odors and VOCs and a very useful reminder for replacing filters. AeraMax Professional is also the first commercial grade air purifier certified for helping asthma and allergy sufferers. When AeraMax air purifiers are working in schools, waiting rooms, offices, medical centres and other public places in shared spaces, everyone can breathe easier knowing that the air is being constantly cleaned. So let's take a closer look at the AeraMax Professional by checking what it's really made of. And as you can see, it all comes down to the 4-phase cleaning process. Phase 1, the pre-filter captures large particles and protects the lifespan of the other filters. Phase 2, the carbon filter absorbs odours volatile organic compounds, which are more commonly known as VOCs, and other contaminants to allow the air cleaning process to start. Stage 3, the true HEPA filter with an antimicrobial treatment captures over 99.9% of airborne particles as small as 0.3 microns. So, viruses, bacteria, dust mites, mold, spores, and allergens are securely trapped. Furthermore, the antimicrobial treatment on the filter reduces the development of bacteria and fungi. And finally, stage 4, our unique plasma true bipolar ionizer attacks bacteria, viruses, and mold and breaks down odours for truly clean air and a healthy environment. There are 5 areas that are driving the need for this improved indoor air quality: germs and viruses, asthmas and allergies, odours, VOCs, and overall health and well-being. Now let's look at these individually and how the AeraMax can significantly improve the situation. Public and shared spaces like offices, healthcare facilities and schools are breeding grounds for bacteria, viruses, dust and allergens, and harsh chemicals and odours. And it's all down to the nasty stuff that's floating in the air. Thorough cleaning and hand sanitisation are 2 ways to reduce the risk of cross-contamination and the spreading of germs and bacteria. However, research studies show that germs in the air we breathe are the main way of transferring germs and viruses, such as the common cold and influenza. This is where the AeraMax Professional really comes into its own, capturing these germs and viruses quickly and efficiently. Germs can be airborne for a very long time, living for several hours and travelling considerable distances. The smaller the particles, the further they travel, and the longer they remain airborne. Flu viruses are spread mainly by droplets that emit from flu sufferers when coughing, sneezing or talking. These droplets remain suspended in the air for long periods and blow over a great distance. They can then land in the mouths or noses of other people up to 2 meters away. A single cough or sneeze ejects small particles of the virus, which can then infect an entire room and remain airborne for hours. And it's a similar story for transmitting other viruses through the air. Colds and flu actually affect 15 million people a year in the UK, and this has a significant impact on the number of working days lost. In fact, sick days associated to flu account for nearly 8 million working days each year, and as this virus is commonly transferred through the air, you can begin to realise the importance of capturing it before it has time to spread. And the most effective way to do this is to clean the air by purifying it. Next up is allergens and asthma. There are a significant number of people suffering from allergies in the UK, with the most common being hay fever. Many more people are suffering from indoor allergens, including dust mites, mould, pet dander and fumes from cleaning products. These irritants also result in respiratory issues for those with asthma, which actually impacts 1 out of every 11 children and many adults. As with germs and viruses, the most effective way to reduce the symptoms is to remove the contaminants that trigger these reactions by purifying the air. Another factor that impacts on the workplace is odour. Staff and visitors to your premises quickly form an impression of your hygiene based on the smell of it. Is it as fresh as a summer's morning, or does the stale air carry many odours? The presence of unpleasant odours, whiffs and nastiness can reflect very badly on your facility. Odours from people, food, office equipment, toilets, chemicals and stale air in general are the primary complaints made to facility managers and the key drivers for seeking solutions to eliminate them. Using aerosol solutions simply masks the problem and actually adds artificial contaminants to the air, which, if we refer back to earlier in the presentation, can actually trigger allergic reactions. Carbon filtration, however, like the one featured in the AeraMax Professional, actually absorbs the odour molecules and therefore effectively removes them from the air, as opposed to just artificially covering up the smell. There are many contaminants causing a bad atmosphere in the home, workplace and just about every other indoor facility. Firstly, outdoor contaminants from traffic and industry enter buildings by infiltration and through ventilation systems. And then there are the VOCs that emit from carpeting, office furniture and cleaning chemicals. VOCs can be a major trigger for headaches, asthma and allergy attacks. AeraMax Pro HEPA filtration system removes outdoor pollutants that find their way into buildings and covered areas, These include diesel and certain other particles that register on the PM 2.5 particle count. And of course, the carbon filters securely capture harmful VOCs from the air. Health and well-being is increasing in importance on the political, economic and enterprise agendas, and organisations with the best health and well-being strategies are attracting the best employees, keeping them happy and also retaining them. Clean air will improve the performance of mental tasks like concentration and recall, and will help to reduce absenteeism due to illness. Clean air, free from contaminants and harsh odours, also shows care and concern for the well-being of your facilities occupants and customers, which in turn helps to cement loyalty. The danger that air pollution poses to our health and well-being is considerable. A report by the Royal College of Physicians linked 40,000 deaths to pollution in the UK alone. It is associated with a host of major health problems, including cancer, asthma, heart disease, and diabetes. AeraMax professional air purifiers are designed to seamlessly and safely integrate into your indoor environment. The units are creatively designed, aesthetically pleasing, and easy to install, but it's the quality of manufacture and performance that really sets it apart. Commercial grade manufacturing is your assurance of long-lasting solutions to poor quality indoor air. The true HEPA filters include a mechanically compressed edge gasket, which helps to prevent air bypass. And as you would expect from a solution by Fellows, each unit is built to last with a reinforced housing, superior components and efficient filters. A locking access panel and secure mounting screws help to resist vandalism, and the systems feature encased thermal protected brushless DC motors to retain low noise levels and ensure long-term use at high RPMs. So, as we draw to a conclusion, I'd like to leave you with a few key takeaways. Air fresheners are not the solution to kill off odours. They only mask smells. Carbon filtration will remove the odours from the air rather than simply masking it. AeraMax professional air purifiers capture airborne germs, viruses, bacteria, and other harmful particulates. AeraMax Professional is expert at eliminating VOCs found in carpeting, office furniture, and cleaning chemicals. They feature a four-phase cleaning process in the unique EnviroMart self-regulating technology for optimum efficiency and hassle-free operation. AeraMax Professional air purifiers are essential for waiting rooms, offices, receptions, and wherever groups of people congregate. Purifying air demonstrates greater consideration and concern for providing a higher level of well-being for all of your facilities occupants, as well as presenting a good impression for visitors. And of course, a healthy environment means a healthier, more productive workforce. That's it. Thanks for joining me today, and please get in touch if you want to know more about the AeraMax Professional Commercial Air Purifiers.
Excellent. Thanks, Astley. It's good to know there are some practical solutions available to combat poor air quality, and it is an important subject as it's environments that most of us all work in. Right, over to some questions. One of the questions we've had in is, what is the cost, and would it purify an open plan office with 75 staff and a dog in it?
And a dog?
Yeah.
Yes, it would. When potential clients are considering this kind of solution, we go out and do a detailed survey, and which would determine size of the space and how many units are needed in that space. So it's all related to size and how quickly the units can shift the air. We aim for around 1.5 to 2 full air exchanges of the volume of air in a space to really keep the air clean. So in answer to the question, yes, but we'd need to do a detailed site survey.
Okay, great. Thanks, Astley. How are the products situated in the office?
We have got stand units on stands for mobile use, but they're most effective screwed to the wall, integrated into the building. Once they're in and installed and working, you can almost forget about them. They'll just sit in the background quietly doing what they need to do. But wall mounted is most effective.
Excellent. Okay. You talked about the filters. How often do the filters need changing?
In general, in normal office environments, it's an annual filter change. So facilities managers would build that into their normal PPM schedule.
Okay, great. And yeah, I think you've sort of answered it already, but there was a question around, do you give advice on where to locate the units?
Yeah, like I said, we come out and do a site survey, which will detail number of units, ideal location, and from that you can you'll get a proposal from Posturite with regards to costings.
Great. Okay. I think that's about it for questions at the moment. Okay. Well, just over to say thanks again, Astley, and thanks for everyone for tuning in, listening. Oh, hold on, we've got another question that's just come in. It says, what is the optimum flow rate, and can this be changed?
With regards to the flow rate, as we talked about the sensor technology, the unit actually senses contamination in a room, be that odour, be that the particulate contamination, and then the system determines how hard the machine works and the flow rate. So if it sensed a lot of odour or a lot of contamination, it would just work harder and work at one of the highest fan speeds. When it's cleaned the air, it would then reduce and work at a much lower fan speed. So the machine determines at what level the air is exchanged.
Okay, fine. We are getting some more questions coming now, actually. It's around costs. So you mentioned about doing the survey, but I think a couple of questions around what is the actual cost of the units?
I mean, I don't get involved in the commercials really. They'd need to contact Posturite for cost of the units. Obviously, I work for the manufacturer at Fellows, so yeah, I don't get involved in the commercials, fortunately.
Fine. Well, the people that have asked regarding costings, if you were to inquire with Posturite afterwards, we can confirm that. But just to give you a ballpark figure, they're between about £950 to £1,250 per unit. Another question we've had in actually is, can it adjust moisture levels?
No. It does nothing with humidity.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, if you've got an issue with low humidity in your facility, and when I say low, I'm talking humidity levels of below 30 or 40% relative humidity, actually germs and viruses spread more quickly. Okay. So the lower the humidity, the easier it is for germs and viruses to spread. So if humidity is an issue, then it's a consideration for you.
Okay, great. Right, yeah, I think that is it for questions now. What we'll do is, following the presentation today, we'll send a link through to the webinar so you can revisit the webinar yourself at your own leisure. And if you've got any other questions, as I say, if you send them through, inquire to Posturite, we can get those answered for you. Thanks again for listening. Have a great afternoon and weekend.